Hello everybody, it's Hunter again, and today I wanted to show you all the plants that I was currently growing in my grow room. Now, I've been slowly reducing the number of plants that I've been growing over the past year, because right now I'm living in Arkansas, and in about 95 days I'm moving to Utah to go to college. So I'm going to be living in an apartment, and I'm not really going to have a whole lot of room to be growing things. Especially transporting them back and forth is going to be very difficult. But I'm going to grow as many of the plants as I possibly can in my apartment. I'm going to bring as many as I can with me from Arkansas to Utah, but for the most part I think I'm going to be starting a lot of new plants when I get to Utah. So I just wanted to show you all the plants that I was growing right now before I had to get rid of any more, and let's get down to it. Now this is my starfruit tree, or my carambola tree, and it's about 9 months old. I started it from seed and it's doing great. Now I'm filming on this table here because my grow room's lights are fairly bright and it kind of confuses the camera when I'm trying to film in there. So anyway, this tree here, this is my kumquat tree. I got it about a year and a half ago, I believe, and it's been growing great. I've gotten fruit off of it one time, and I'll show you a picture of that right now. Okay, so that was the fruit I got off this tree, and this tree, when I got it, it was really weird. The shape of it started here, and then it went up, and then it went way over here, and it was falling over, and it couldn't support itself, and so I wound up having to put a screw into this dead part here and attach it to the pot with wires, just to keep the thing supported. But it was nice enough to put out a branch off to the side, and so I clipped off the top, and I'm making this the new apex of the tree, and I'm going to try and grow it more straight and more stable. That way I can actually get fruit off of it without it falling over. This little guy here is a key lime tree. I started this one a couple months ago from seed, and it is doing fantastic. It's a beautiful tree. It's putting out some little side shoots down here, and it just keeps on growing. It's doing great. I also have a few pictures of this when it was a little bit younger, and I'll show you those. This tree here is a longan tree. I've had this one for a while. I started it from seed, and it kind of grows in spurts. It puts out a spurt of leaves and then it stops growing for a couple weeks and then puts out another spurt of leaves. It's kind of interesting how it grows. I like this tree a lot. If you notice, the leaves have water drops on them. That's because I just watered all my trees. So if you're wondering, that's what it is. And this guy is doing fantastic. Now this tree here is a lychee tree, or a lychee tree. And I started this the exact same day as that longan tree. And if you look at the leaves, these are new growth, and it's beautiful. It just keeps on growing. It's a wonderful tree. This here is a cayenne pepper plant, and I don't typically like cayenne peppers, but I'm growing this mainly because I'm vice president of a garden club at my school, and I'm just growing this to plant out there in springtime. That's what I'm going to do with a lot of the plants that I have. I'm going to plant quite a few of them in the raised beds at my school garden. This right here is a red Marconi pepper. I actually got the seeds from Ray at the Praxis 55712 channel. And anyway, there's a couple flower buds on this guy right now, and I think I'm going to let this guy flower and fruit for me and try the pepper, and then once I'm done with that, I'll probably plant it in the school garden just like the cayenne pepper. Now this is an orchid that I got a couple months ago, and it keeps on putting out new leaves, which is great, but it also has one flower spike going and a second flower spike going, and I didn't even know that was possible until recently, so I think that's pretty cool. 2 flower spikes. Here I have some heirloom leafy greens that I started, I don't really know how long I'm going to be growing these for. I'm probably going to wind up planting these in my school garden. I just want to see how big they can get in a grow room, because I plan on growing these in Utah when I get there. So what I have growing here is I have some type of kale. Don't remember what kind. And here I planted an heirloom variety of kale called Italian Nero Tuscanina kale or something like that. And it hasn't came up yet, so I think none of the seeds germinated. Here I have some type of Italian basil. I'm not sure what this is. The rest of them I'm not really sure what they are. But I did plant sorrel, bloody dock, or like a red variegated sorrel, a purple passion spinach, water purslane, or like miner's lettuce, and so I'm not really sure which one's which, because I don't really like to keep records when I grow stuff. So it'd be kind of interesting to see what I get out of these. Now this guy here is going to require some explanation. I've been growing this for about 2 years now. This is an English ivy. And I'm growing this for bonsai purposes. I'm doing a root over rock style, but instead of it being over a rock, I'm doing it over an amethyst crystal. I thought that would be really interesting. It doesn't really follow any of the rules of bonsai, but I don't really care. I think it's going to look pretty cool by the time I'm done with it. And this guy is going to take me quite a long time. I don't really expect anything beautiful out of it for 15, 20, 30 years. So this is just my little side experiment that I'm doing, and I like it a lot. I have a few pictures of it from before when I started it, but basically this is duct tape and saran wrap that's holding sphagnum moss onto the rock, so the roots can go through the sphagnum moss and down into the soil and get longer and have time to thicken up, so the roots are permanently going to be attached to the rock. I've slowly been taking down the duct tape layer and exposing some of the roots and getting rid of the ones that I don't really need for the design. So this is just how I'm doing this, and you'll probably see quite a bit of this guy because it's gonna take him a long time to get where he's going. But this is probably one of my favorite trees, even though it's not a tree and it looks like crap, I know, but it'll get beautiful. I promise you, it'll get there one day. Just might take a long time. Thank you guys for joining me today. Now that was just the trees that I have inside. I do have several trees outside that I want to show you guys later, but for this video I'm just going to cover the trees that I have growing on inside. So thank you all for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again.